back from PyroJam, it sounds like, didn't you?
Yeah, the drive.
Yeah. How long of a drive was that for you?
4 hours.
Go by
It
yourself, or you take somebody with you, or
took about an hour.
that helped a little bit, probably.
Yeah, it really did. Because it would have been, shout out to Miles for going, because if it wasn't for him, I probably would have fell asleep at least once or twice. So,
Yeah, it's a lot of driving sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, and then Ellery met us out there, so that was a lot of
Okay.
fun.
Yeah, I think I've seen some pictures of him. He was out there. Yeah.
Yeah, he took some video, and then we met up with Den Fireworks.
Okay.
So
He was
that
there
was a lot
too.
of fun. Yeah, Den was out there. And yeah, I think we all got some pretty good video. I know Ellery put his up. Man, what time was it? I think it was like 2:30 in the morning. We were editing and uploading videos until, so we wanted to get them out first. So, hell,
Yeah. I don't know. In Discord, he was like 2 hours. He had him up. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he was
yeah,
on
we
it.
were, yeah, I think he was just about done when my longest video was finalizing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So yeah, if
Crazy.
you guys haven't seen them, be sure to go to YouTube, our Unleashed podcast page, and you'll be able to watch the videos. Or obviously, Den Fireworks has good video, and Tongpo Pyro has really good video out. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of videos out there of him. Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, the Vaverka brothers were out there doing some recording. So I'm sure we're
Okay.
gonna have some interesting content coming out from that. And, they always do a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah. I know they were at PGI doing some recordings and stuff there as well.
Yep.
So kind of excited to see what they get out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, just got an email. I gotta review our show and send it back to them and tell them if it was good. And then I know they're gonna be at NFA and I believe Sky Wars. So they're gonna be all over this year. But that's really good. So
We should add them to the list of guests.
yeah, yeah, we'll have to try and get them on. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to get them on and yeah, hang out with them. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, be a good time.
yeah. So what have you been up to?
Just been busy fireworks stuff. Club stuff's been going on and kind of getting wrapped up from PGI and getting ready for all the other events. And
Yeah.
it's been a rough 36 hours for me. So
Yeah, and I'm so sorry to hear that. That
I
is
don't usually share a lot of personal stuff with people, and definitely in a forum like this. But yesterday I lost my grandpa.
yeah, yeah, I'm so
Um,
sorry.
90 years old. I mean,
Man.
so they're at that age where it shouldn't be unexpected, but yet it still was. You live your life and you think they're going to be there. Another 5, 10 years. I mean, his mom lived till she was 99, so
Wow.
I'd expected to have many more years with him, and so unfortunately, just kind of unexpectedly, we lost him yesterday, and so
Yeah.
he really was kind of my idol, my hero growing up. I mean, I spent, 75% of my teenage and high school years with them. And,
Wow.
as a kid growing up, grandma picks me up on the Fridays after work, I spend all weekend with them, go back home. And so, lost my grandma in 2017. So my grandpa made another 7 years, but, I would, really wish in the last 7 years I would have spent some more time with him and talked with him more, got some more stories. But,
Yeah.
for anyone out there, I mean, take the time, go and hang out with them, talk with them. If you got grandparents out there, spend time with them. Like some of the stories that they have are incredible from 80, 90 years ago, how different
Oh,
things are
for
today.
sure.
It's crazy. It really is. And so don't think you have more time with them. Just, make it part of your daily life. Pick up the phone, call them, talk to them, go see them. I wish I would have had the opportunity, to call him one more time just to check in on him and say hi. And unfortunately, I didn't get that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a little bit of a rough 36 hours. So,
Yeah, most definitely.
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
kind of get through it and move on and kind of process everything. So it's, yeah, definitely a
yeah.
surprise for us.
Yeah. Well, you're in me and my family's
Yeah.
prayers, and if you're listening, yeah, send a prayer up because it's never easy. Never easy at all. So,
No, it's not. It's definitely not easy. So I mean, if it helps somebody out there to make that time, pick the phone call them, tell them you love them, tell them how much they mean to you, how much they affected your life. It means the world to them just to hear that from you. So
yeah, most
yeah.
definitely does.
So I guess on that note, let's get this intro and get some more happy talk.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Tune in weekly as Donnie and David discuss all things pyro, from the business aspect of the industry to technical tips and mesmerizing pyro designs. On Pyro Unleashed, we invite cutting-edge experts to the podcast to discuss their role in making this industry a success. So, sit back and unleash your inner pyro with us.
Episode 6?
Episode 6.
Episode 6. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're already almost, what, a third of the way through the season almost.
Almost a third of the way. Yeah, we hit the quarter waypoint last week with Joel. That was great. I personally genuinely learned a lot.
It was, yeah. I think that it was a great opportunity to really kind of get the insights on the drones and what they're capable of and what they're doing with them, and some of the things they're looking at, for future use of integrating pyro and all that kind of stuff, and how that kind of came about. So yeah, it was a great opportunity to actually sit down and actually talk with Joel about the drone technology and where that's at right now.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. All right. Well, do you have a Cobra ad for us this week, by any chance?
I mean, I've always got Cobra ads. I mean, Cobra's out there. I mean, everybody's using. I mean, all the cool kids are using Cobra. Is that what it is?
All the cool kids are using Cobra.
All the cool kids are using Cobra. Yeah. I mean, again, yeah. I mean, Cobra was huge at PGI. I mean, they're huge in the pyro community. They do a lot of things for pyros, customer support. Obviously, we've talked about for many times how amazing the customer support is that they have out there, and you can call them and talk to them anytime. And Scott and Zach, everybody knows Zach with their customer service, and so you always get great support when you reach out to their teams and stuff like that. And so, and something else we'll touch on probably a little bit later is the announcement of CobraCon.
Yeah, we'll chat about that here in a little bit.
So we'll chat about that a little bit either, and maybe if we're going to be maybe a part of the CobraCon next year, and potentially stuff like that. So
we'll chat about that too.
Give another shout out to them. But yeah, again, I want to thank Cobra for sponsoring our podcast and helping us forward this and keeping the message out there, and then being able to talk to pyros throughout the community and the world.
Yeah. Just looking forward to all that. And
so I mean, we've all been busy. Yeah, we've been busy since PGI. We've had guests every week.
Every week. We
haven't had a chance to even digest, what really, what our final, I guess, thoughts were, I guess, about PGI, I guess, and a little bit of, our overall experience, from PGI. I mean, one of the things, I think at a place like that, especially doing shows there, you always look back to see, some lessons learned, some things you took away from it, for you, anything particular that stands out from, some lessons you learned or some takeaways that you had from PGI?
Management, it's not even just obviously the physical, designing management, but also all the way down to designing management and having people laid out, I mean, it does, not that we didn't have a game plan, we had a game plan, but I think if there wasn't the rain on Saturday, I think we'd have been in a much tighter space. We'd have been a lot better off because we'd have had solid 6 hours of everybody being able to work. But, I think being able to adjust and, okay, well, there's rain coming, so we need to cover everything. And as we were going, we were covering because we knew that there was always that chance of rain kind of in the foresight. So we were trying to accommodate that. But yeah, I think we just kind of almost, I don't even think we bit off more than we could chew. Obviously we handled it. There was some last minute stuff, with drones.
Yeah.
And then during audio check, some stuff happened. And I mean, overall, I feel like everything kind of worked out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Some stuff I'm not really wanting to, really chat about too much, but I know that, we did work through it. Everything did end up playing out. There was 99% of the product went up. And if there was anything left, we donated it to JPA.
Yeah. That's cool.
So we just didn't want to drive back with it. So
yeah,
we
absolutely.
A little bit, which was nice. And they had some nice spots in their show. I mean, their whole show was good, I guess. I don't want to say oh, our product was the best in the show, but from the stuff that we gave them, we could tell it was in there, and we were really happy to see it in there.
I mean, I would say another takeaway is when you borrow mods.
Oh my gosh!
You should always clarify quick plug or regular.
Yeah, I mean, mercy, there was just lack of sleep involved in that, and yeah, again,
I brought a whole arsenal of quick plugs, and you were expecting
it
regular, and
was like
we had never
94 mods
communicated
worth,
about what
right?
was needed.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I mean, you guys are so used to using quick plugs. I'm so used to using just
Yeah,
regular terminals. I guess it's just the
yeah,
terminal, and I guess neither one of us. I don't know. And it wasn't your fault at all. I mean, I'm not saying it
no,
was, but just neither one of us thought to, communicate that. And in the end, I mean, we ended up making it work out, but to not have those errors or those issues, man, it would have made um, it a little bit easier because
yeah,
then obviously, Cobra came to the rescue, and Scott sent us 1072Ms, and yeah, shout out to Cobra and
yeah,
Scott
absolutely.
over there for that, because yeah, if it wasn't for that, we kind of have been, we would have been up a creek without a
Yeah,
paddle, and then a couple other people came through with, what was it, 35, was it 35 18Ms I think they brought out, so
yeah, they
that
had a whole
was,
bunch of them. Yeah, we
yeah,
got a whole stack of them from them. Yeah.
yeah, so,
So yeah,
mercy,
so
yeah, yeah, go ahead,
if you're doing a Skyward show and you're borrowing mods, you might make sure you clarify
yeah,
quick plug regular. So what you
yeah,
need.
I mean, not even just down to that, but I mean, you know, giving out maybe a packet to every one of your crew members that says, you know, because I know you and I we're working on the green versus pink labels, or red,
Yeah,
or orange, or what, I can't remember what it was at this point, but simple stuff like a site layout map.
yeah,
Green labels mean this, pink labels mean that. Just like a basic like mod breakdown per position. Again, this is kind of stuff like post display. I'm starting to think like, yeah, if everybody had a folder and in there was like just a basic
yeah,
bit of information, the crew leads would be freed up to be able to go and do. And again, it's not even like more important stuff, but it's just other stuff that needs to get done.
yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah. Um, but yeah, what about you? Would you guys learn anything
No, I mean,
doing the
one
setup?
of
You
the
guys
things that
feel
I
pretty good about
hadn't
it?
done previously at Skywars was like the site map and kind of the mod layout, and so that was something I brought this time when we came, and it made troubleshooting things a whole lot easier because I could look at a little map and know this position is this channel, and if I have to troubleshoot it, you can go to each and every one. I mean, we had really good success. I mean, we had early continuity checks were green.
Hmm.
I had one mod that had a bad queue, so we had to go series in a shot together to one next to it. But ultimately, out of the entire show, I think we had two shots that didn't fire out of the entire show. Out of
Wow.
over almost 1,100 queues, we had two shells that didn't go, and so that was a really good success for us there.
Yeah, that is.
We did not use MJG, so that
Well,
was part of our success.
I mean that could yeah, that could for sure make a difference, I would say.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I think we were very happy with the prep work we put into it because I mean, obviously we had a smaller show. I mean, only 1,100 Q show, but I mean, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we were done, and we left
Yeah.
site and went and had dinner and came back and basically
Yeah.
armed everything and chilled out and shot our show. So it was very stress free, and we're starting to kind of get into a point where we are able to do the prep work and figure out how to do the prep work to maximize our amount of time and make on site work a whole lot faster. And so the more shows that we're doing as a club and these bigger shows is giving us the opportunity to continue to practice and test that and be
Yeah.
able to put on bigger shows more efficiently with with fewer people or just make it quicker.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I mean, I think we've both talked a little bit about it, but I think, sitting down and um you and I chatting about workload, figuring out how to make a process go by quicker, because um I think that's even more than half of the battle. I would venture to say, maybe 75% of the work doesn't even happen on the field. I mean, it might even
Sure.
be closer to 85%. It's really either in the back end. It's all pre-production stuff, right? I mean, it's the scripting. It's
It is, and a lot of it
yeah,
goes into addressing and stuff like that. I know we talked about in your show, and some opportunities on how we could have improved the workflow on your show and addressing and some of that kind of stuff. And
yeah,
that's some of the things we've worked really hard on to simplify addressing our shows so that way when the crew is is landing stuff. It's super easy, super simple for them to follow, and it
Yeah.
makes that process go a lot faster. And so I think, mastering, that kind of thing. 'Cause you have to think about when you're doing your shows is what's easiest for my crew when they're on the site. Like what's going to make it super easy and as dummy proof as I possibly can be, so
Yeah.
that there's not a lot of directions needed for them. And so that's just some things to kind of work through when you're building and addressing and setting up your shows.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Let's see. Future PGI. I'm sorry, unless there was anything else you wanted to kind
No,
of
that's
chat
no,
on. I
you're
mean,
you're keep going, you're good.
yeah. Future PGI site. Looking at Newton, Iowa.
They had a last minute change, it sounded like there.
Yeah, last minute change. It's going to be at the park there, it looks like in Newton. I can't remember the exact
The
park name,
Woodland
but
Park, I think is what it
Woodland
was.
Park, there it is, yep. And then the local college, sounding like is where all the classes and everything's going to be held. So,
Kind
you
of a
know,
split site, kind of interesting.
yeah, I know it's funny because we were chatting about this like what a week ago,
Yeah.
and we were like, well, it is a mile away from each other, and yes, in retrospect, that does kind of stinks. But then you start to look at what the site was this year, and it's like, well, the shoot site from vending, that was a mile and a quarter away.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you
So
went from Bending to say
yeah,
the Rocket Line, you were probably close to 2 miles. I mean, you were at least a mile, probably. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
So
So is it really? I don't know. Is it really that bad? I don't know. I think logistically it's going to be kind of interesting.
I think it will be. Yeah.
Because they're going to have, yeah, security reasons. It's going to be very interesting. But I mean, if we want to get together, then I think we're just going to have to kind of fight through it, kind of overcome it, and just deal with it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
and
just part of this process of trying to get, a set of sites, I think, laid out that can be on a rotating basis. And I think they're trying to work through trying to find some sites that will be regular sites going forward.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, I'm
again,
not sure
this
what
is
happened with the racetrack at Newton. Obviously, there was
yeah,
something happened there. The reason why we couldn't go back this next year, I would imagine there must have been some type of issue there that we probably aren't privy to. But
yeah,
I would imagine it's probably what led them to being with this park idea.
yeah. And again, I mean, these are all volunteers running this, right? So it's not like any of these guys are paid to just sit there hour after hour, searching for a new site. I mean, they're working during their family time, during their work lunch hour, stuff like that to handle all this. So if you're listening, you think you have a good site, reach out to PGI, and I'm sure they'll take a look at it. I know when we talk to Craig, they have like a process before they even are willing to go to the site
Yeah.
that they have to go through, and then once they you know decide yes this is a good site, then they'll go on site and do an on site walkthrough. So
Yeah, and I know some of the discussion over on the PGI forum has actually been around that, and there's actually is a document that members can actually access that goes through what a new site is and allow the members to go out and kind of do the initial evaluation of a site and then turn that
yes,
into PGI to do a more in-depth evaluation. So kind of like what the requirements are for a site.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right.
All
And
right, well, I guess let's
yeah,
dive in
the hot
PyroJam.
topic, PyroJam.
All
Yeah.
right.
Shout out again to Tim Jameson and IPC. That was, I don't even know how you like, it was just from the time and again, I didn't technically come through the gate. I came in earlier, but from the time that I went through the line to get my wristbands to the time I left, everything was seamless. It was just, everything was so well thought through. I mean, everything was set up to come in, get your food, go sit down, go play, have fun, go get more food. There was some clothes vending. I think they had a a big race car out there.
Yeah,
Everything from ice cream to cotton candy. They had a truck out there serving crab legs out there.
that's sweet.
Yeah, a bunch of spots for beer, lemonade stand. Yeah, it was out. If you could think about it, it was out there. I mean, Mexican food, burgers. It was awesome.
That's kind of bringing everything in out there, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you go into the shoot, or not into the shoot site, but the display field where everybody was sitting. And to the left of the display field, there was a nice stage set up over there, and they had some. I mean, genuinely, they were fantastic bands. Yeah, it just overall the experience was really good. The closing band, they had some pyro on the stage. They had flames. I
Nice.
don't think they were cryojets, but I think they were like fog machines, quick dissipating. And then, yeah, get into the display night, or the night of displays. Brian Craig with Craigco, they did the national anthem.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was really, really well done. And then they did, I'm trying to think, they had, so they did a, a raffle ticket, I believe it was.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was for somebody to press the first gas mine button.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen some gas mines out there.
Yep. So there was that, and then at the end of the national anthem, they did about 250 gallons of gas.
Nice.
So that was nice to, after you were already sweating all day, to
All right. So I think it's more heat.
get some more heat. And then yeah, they called it the foreplay song or the foreplay musical. So
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of
That's what I
funny
figured.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of get everybody warmed up. I don't even know who that was scripted by, but I believe it was probably one of the newer designers or somebody on the IPC team.
Okay.
They did that. And then they had the three competitions. So you had Serbia, so you had USA, and then you also had Team UK.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, just absolutely wonderful, wonderful shows. The judges really knew how to pick them. I mean, I don't even know how many hundreds of hours they had to go through to judge, but that, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't see all of them, but I think they picked the right ones. And yeah,
Yeah, I know all the Sims. When we watched the Sims before, they all looked really, really good. And so when we watched them in the actual videos, they looked actually, fairly close and fairly kind of what I would was
yeah,
expecting for the most part.
yeah, for the most part, I think most of the stuff, there was a couple runs where I was trying to think back. I'm like, I don't remember that run exactly like that, but I'm sure it was like that, and it was probably just a timing thing with, how Pyro is.
Yeah.
It's not always perfect. So, but yeah, I mean, huge shout out to Euros, Patrick, and Nick. I mean, they scripted some fantastic displays. Unfortunately, Team Serbia, so Euros was not granted into the USA, so he wasn't able to make it. But Nick and Patrick were there, and I was able to communicate with them, and
That's cool.
I
It's good.
believe we're going to be having them on for a post PyroJam conversation.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
absolutely.
I can get Euros on from Serbia and as well, and chat about that. But yeah, let's see. The outcome was Team Serbia, so they took home the win. And then the People's Choice win would have been Patrick from USA.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, watching all three shows, I don't know. It would have been tough for me to be a judge on them, really. I mean, each one of them had really cool aspects.
They did. Yeah. They all had, it was all
For
really
me,
kind of
it's
cool.
hard to design, or it's hard for me to critique it, right? Because it wasn't them actually setting it up, right? So, if there was like a scripting error or something, it wasn't necessarily, them. It was, whoever was setting up that
Yeah,
position.
because I noticed a couple times there was looked like a comet went instead of a mine went. I think there was a
Yeah.
couple things in there, and so it was kind of interesting because obviously they didn't script it that way. There was just a setup issue where they plugged something in wrong or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's hard to it'd be hard, I guess, to judge them to count them against that because it wasn't technically their fault.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, from a judging aspect, I don't know, it would be different. But that being said, from the IPC side, like, it was just so smooth. Like, I walked out, I think I was there at 11:15 in the morning, and they had everything like done.
Yeah.
Everything done. Everything was clean rows. Just, it looked absolutely immaculate. So, when you go to like Sky Wars or PGI, I mean, they're cramming those fields so full
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff and
absolutely.
so
Yeah.
many teams, so it doesn't always look clean and concise and, as nice and as pretty as we might want it to look in the field. But, obviously the end display still looks as good as it's supposed to. So, I don't know, just it was a little different.
Yeah, and then I know you were mentioning in Discord that this was all one script.
It was one script. All except for the national anthem was all one continuous script. Yep. So yeah, it was just a pause and a play, pause and play. And I believe, if my memory serves me correct, it was 18,000. I'm probably wrong, but it was either 840 Qs or 940 Qs. That's insane. So they had 5 Starfire units. or controllers running that whole show.
Yeah.
So very interesting.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to do that obviously in one big long script like that. I'm surprised, wouldn't divide that up, but I mean, if your firing system can do it, I mean, why not, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so from a designing standpoint, I get it, right? So you only have to set up, technically you're only setting up one show.
Yeah.
And so you're not like setting up a show and then stopping and setting up another show. And
Yeah.
it made sense from a designer's standpoint, from a shooting standpoint. It all made sense.
Yeah, because technically you've only got one person shooting the entire night essentially, right? Like
Correct.
each individual team's not firing their own show, so I mean.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, Finale 3D standpoint, it's kind of a logistical nightmare trying to, put everything in rows. But I know talking to Drew, there was a couple hours on the phone with Tim, and trying to figure out field layout with racking, and which, by the way, I mean the new way of racking in Finale 3D. If you haven't used it,
that's nice.
Oh my gosh,
it's nice.
It makes life so much easier. So yeah, huge shout out to that, because that is really, really nice as well.
Yeah, and then obviously I noticed some of the equipment on the field that wasn't necessarily for the 3 shows. They were used in the closing show. There was a giant wheel, and then there's a scaffolding that was spread out across the field. What was all that all about? Like,
yeah, I mean, there was pyro on everything, like literally every aspect of the field, like all the way up. I think I had my drone up and I counted. I think it was like 56 feet. Is where the top position was, or maybe it was less than that. I can't remember. 46 feet, something like that. But I mean, it was up there, right? And I know they had a waterfall on the stage truss. I think there was 504 single shots on the wheel.
Yeah, crazy.
So yeah, I mean, just literally pyro on every aspect they could think of. On the stage truss, shooting it left and right, up and down, 45-degree angles, shooting sideways. I mean, it was, some stuff I had never seen before, and I don't know, got the designing wheels kind of.
I was watching it earlier, and I was like, it's some pretty crazy runs they did with all that tower structure. So it'd be kind of cool to kind of play around with that. But I'm pretty sure you can't fit all those guy wires within your lane at Skywars. So I don't know if I'll see that at Skywars or not.
It would be tight, but I think if they created more of, I was actually talking to somebody a couple days ago about this. If you created like a stage truss and you create it in an eye pattern instead of using guide wires or guy wires on the 2 sides, if you just created stage trussing out either way and dropped it down, it would actually make it just about as sturdy, if not sturdier, and then use guy wires in the center. So I don't know. I mean, there's a number of ways you could do it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Setup would be tricky at Skywars. You'd have to literally be out there like Sunday, Monday to get it up, so you're not in everybody's way. Because I mean, I think they built it laying down and then set it up.
Stood it up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's going to be really intriguing to see. I always think of these pyro events as like, maybe new ideas can grow from there. And I think going there and seeing some of the level of pyros that were there, or even the pyros that are seeing it on YouTube, I think it's going to start again. I think it's going to start getting some pyro gears rolling, some new ideas in the air. I know you guys have some ideas. I know we're not chatting about that, but intrigued to see, maybe some ideas just in general in the pyro community. I think there's some ideas already for Skywars this year. Somebody's gonna have some interesting ideas. Towers. Yeah, it's any way to get pyro in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I mean, especially an event like PyroJam where it's kind of more like an international event, right? You've got scripters from different places, and they design shows differently. And I think bringing those ideas to the States in an event like that allows pyros to see shows firsthand, up close. Essentially of how an overseas show would be designed and shot without actually having to go overseas to see them.
Right.
So I think that's the cool thing about PyroJam and bringing that over here to the States and giving the opportunity for us to be able to see those firsthand and get those ideas and some of those runs and get scavenge some ideas, because I mean it's Pyro is a copycat world. I mean, right? Like somebody
Oh,
does
for
a great
sure.
idea, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh, that's cool," and then you see it, in every show for the next 2 years. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. I mean, kind of a cool idea. People are going to copy it, and then that just for the person who created it, just gives them the sense of pride that they created something that's everybody else is using. So you had a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else there was that the amount of shells, it was astronomical. And it was primarily fours, like 4-inch shells. Yeah, I mean just some of the ways that they mounted, some of their like frontage, like the flames and stuff, flash pots, fireballs and stuff. Really just unique how they did all that setup. Yeah, and again, just the whole atmosphere, the thought process that went into designing when I've always, well, I think it was Ellery and I were chatting, and we're like, well, when Tim does something, he does it right. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not like
absolutely.
he's gonna do it, you know, just half baked. He's gonna bring it all together and make it a full encompassing orchestrated display, and everything just works smoothly. And yeah, I mean, kind of going back to the closing display, I, yeah, just some of the ideas Tim has is just mind blowing, mind boggling. I mean, his company's not called Innovative Pyrotechnics
Right.
Concepts for a reason. I mean, he's trying to be, or not even trying. He is at the forefront of the industry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Going leaps and bounds, and people are seeing that and then taking his ideas from him. But kind of back to his episode when we were chatting, and I think he mentioned he was having kind of like designing block, um,
Yeah.
and seeing him go from that to what he put on out there, and he kind of, in my opinion, him going back to his roots, like I don't know, it really made me think about that too. It's like some of these runs are fun, um, doing some of the fun design work is awesome, but just getting back to basics, sometimes just sticking to 30s and
Yeah.
45s and not going to these weird extreme, like 7 degree and then 12, trying to create some weird parabolic stuff. Like just go back to the basics, stick to you know 15, 30, 45, and 60 degree or whatever. And yeah, sometimes it just creates a cleaner design.
And Tim always has good music selection as well in his shows. I
Always
mean,
does.
the songs he used. I mean, some of you've heard obviously in other pyro shows, and
Yeah.
they've been copied and played a lot. But Tim's not afraid to go out and reuse a song from somebody else's show that you've heard a
No.
lot, and then do it in his own fashion, his own way, and make it look cool. And so I really think he does a great job at taking songs that we've all seen shot to, and then shooting
Making him
something
his
completely
own.
different to it, make it look
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah, I think we as pyros we refrain from using other song, or songs that other pyros have used. But I don't know. Again, I kind of go back to the whole, like, I would like to see a competition where three designers
Yeah.
take the same song, the same product, design it, and we all know they're going to be three
Oh
different
yeah,
pyro
absolutely.
musicals.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So it's what you see, it's what you hear, it's what you feel, listening to that soundtrack. So I don't know. I Yeah, it's just very intriguing. And then his use of Christian music is always, it's awesome. It's very well appreciated in who I am and in the industry. I don't feel like it's used enough, and it's kind of got the gears rolling in my head for some upcoming plans. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
It's like Tim told us. It's the emotional connection, right? And I think that
Yes.
Christian music helps create that emotional connection to the fireworks, and it makes
Yeah.
you feel a different way because of the music, and the fireworks are just amplifying the feelings you're getting from the music.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah. What were your thoughts from watching? I mean, I know you weren't obviously able to go, but watching on YouTube, what were your thoughts and
No,
from watching it?
I really enjoyed the shows. I thought they were pretty close to the Sims I've seen. I mean, the Serbia show I think was my favorite for sure. I think some of the runs that I saw in that Serbia show made me like stop and go back and rewatch it because
Yes.
I was like that was crazy. I got to watch it again. And so you're watching a good fireworks show when you have to pause the video, go back and rewatch a sequence several times because you're still trying to process what you just saw.
Yeah. Or
Yeah, and
slow
so
it
I,
down,
I
or
I
like
definitely
drag
really
slow.
enjoyed that song.
Yeah.
Going in, that was probably my second or third,
Really?
choice probably going into it, based off of the Sims and stuff. But I think once you actually see it scripted live and the way it all turns out, I think it makes it sometimes can change how a show looks, obviously. And so I definitely agree with the outcome on who won that.
Yeah, I agree. So, all right, yeah, I can get to some pyro news.
Yeah, let's just hop into some news this week. It's the corniest graphic ever.
It's whatever. I don't know.
It's fun. It's fun. It's like some like alien show coming on next. You know, like you know.
Yeah.
So here we got. We actually have an arrest in California. They actually caught somebody who started one of the wildfires.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So there was a early back in July, Thompson fire burned 3,800 acres, destroyed dozens of houses, and a lot of evacuation as well. California authorities arrested a 26-year-old man who they say admitted to throwing fireworks out of his car window that sparked the wildfire blaze and burned thousands of acres in July.
That's crazy.
So yeah, they spent obviously months on this investigation and were able to track the guy down. So it was I guess they had some witnesses to help them spot the car and stuff like that. And so they had license plate readers that they were able to use to track down the vehicle, and then they were able to track down the individual. But yeah, throwing fireworks out your car window.
Not good. Don't do it.
That's a no-go.
Yeah.
Go. This is a little bit more of an interesting story. So if you know anything about Vegas, the Tropicana is going to be imploded.
Yes.
And so they're actually going to be shooting a fireworks display to go along with the implosion.
Okay.
So as the strip gears up for the demolition of Tropicana, the hotel spokesperson says spectators can enjoy a firework and a drone show. Bally Corporation told the news, and the main event will take place on Wednesday, October 9th. The dazzling visuals will be engineered by fireworks by Grucci, followed by the hotel implosion at 2:30 a.m.
Wow.
So if you want to go out and see some fireworks, a drone show, and a hotel get blown up, October 9th at 2:30 in the morning will be your opportunity.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, Vegas never sleeps.
No, I mean it's just you get fireworks and a drone show on top of that. That's kind of
on top of all that.
Yeah, so I mean that should be kind of. I'm sure there'll be lots of videos probably on that out there and about. But yeah, pretty cool opportunity. I thought if somebody wants to go to Vegas for a trip.
Most definitely, yeah. And I guess let's get into the last kind of bit of got
a couple things on here still, yeah.
Yeah, I guess a couple things still left. Sorry, CobraCon.
CobraCon.
They just released the dates for that. So, CobraCon 2025 will be April 10th through the 12th. We'll still be at Muncie, in Muncie at the Muncie Fairgrounds and then at the Convention Center. Rumor has it that the field will be maybe adjusted a little bit. I know the post that they put on Facebook was there's going to be some more affordable options. They're introducing tickets without meals included, so it allows you to attend at a reduced price, making the event more accessible to everyone. There'll be new sessions, new workshops led by top professionals in the pyrotechnic world, bigger fireworks shows. So I'm assuming that would mean potentially some 1-3. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of cool, maybe, yeah.
Exclusive networking opportunities, so you'll be able to connect with industry leaders and fellow attendees in an exciting and welcoming environment. And then registration will actually be Wednesday, so it'll be so I guess it'll be technically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Afternoon sessions will be industry experts will be leading discussions and workshops from 1 to 5 p.m. And then the event hours will be looks like 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah, have never been to CobraCon, so I don't. I mean,
are you gonna go? You think?
I mean, it's a possibility. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there was a rumor, maybe, I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Might make an appearance out there maybe this next time, maybe.
Yeah, I know I'll be there regardless. I'll be there doing trade show stuff nonetheless. Trying to stick away from doing a show, but I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. I mean, somebody has to do shows out there.
Somebody's got to do them.
Somebody's got to do them, yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it should be a good time, yeah.
So it's looking like more information on shows, including show schedule, will be available later this year. So Much earlier. I mean, it was what, a couple weeks maybe before, maybe a month or so before last couple years.
Yeah.
And then pricing announcements will be coming in early November. So if you're not, start following Cobra Firing Systems on Facebook. Sign up for their emails, and you'll be getting all the notifications via either one.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, definitely check that out.
yeah, perfect.
And then
Yeah,
another
go
piece
ahead.
of fireworks news. So if you're into Montreal Fireworks Festival,
Yes, I have
that
not even watched them yet. I
I
feel
haven't watched any
so
of them hardly
bad.
either, and they
Yeah,
actually just kind of wrapped up earlier this month. They did, and so
yeah,
I just happened to catch today the top three places. So third place went to Japan,
yep.
Omagari Fireworks.
Okay,
Second place was to Canada, Fireworks Spectaculars,
I've heard of them.
and first place was France, Art Eventia, something like that.
Artiventia, yeah. So,
But
no, that's
I watched the France one a little bit ago, and yeah, it's off the charts, man. Like
is it?
it's a really cool setup and design. Multiple height layers across the field. They had two laser segments in the middle of the show.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so you don't really see lasers in a
I was
fireworks
gonna
show very
say
often.
it's yeah, it's hard. It's not very often you see like lights and lasers. I'm waiting for a full encompassing show, like not necessarily a fireworks show, but a full encompassing
Yeah,
entertainment. So you have, your flame machines, your lasers, your lighting, drones, and pyro. Like
like everything all
integrate all of
together.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like make it a display and make me want to watch it.
So
And
yeah,
who knows?
the France show also the Pyro Tornado made an appearance a few times in there.
Did it? The pyro
Yeah,
tornado? Okay.
look, there's more like a flower than a tornado. Like if you
Really?
watch it, you'll understand. Like instead of shooting all their shots straight up, they fan
Yeah.
them out a little bit,
Really?
so it's more wide at the top than at the bottom.
Yeah.
So more like a
Yeah.
bowl, and then they kind of did some. They kind of spun it where they started straight up in the middle, and then they kind of slowly got angled out more, so it kind of gave
Okay.
that flower opening kind of look.
That's interesting. So I wonder how they'd have done that. That's so they must have used like each position would have had like,
We'd
huh.
had to tilt them
Yeah,
out a
so
little
they
bit
might have
all the way
used
around,
like
just a little
a,
bit. Yeah,
huh. Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah,
If you
knowing how I
kind of
set
watch the
my,
video, you'll see it, and you'll be like, "Well, wait a minute! Like
yeah.
wasn't a normal tornado."
Yeah, knowing how I set mine up at PGI and like the hours of logistical nightmare that it was to set that up, like, huh. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to watch it and dive into it a little bit and see how they did that because
Yeah, and
that's
one of the things I
intriguing.
noticed, like in that show, and also noticed it too at the PyroJam, was the slices on towers.
Yes,
I mean,
lots
like
of slices on towers.
I wasn't sure how that would look, but then when you layer it with slices on the ground at the same time,
You
like
do see a height difference.
you can see the height difference. Like if you did them just the tower by themselves, it probably
Yeah, you
wouldn't make
wouldn't
as
be
much
able to tell.
sense. But when you shoot them with the ground and the tower at the same time, you can actually
Yeah,
tell they're the height difference, and it's
yeah,
kind of interesting effects.
yeah. So, kind of going back to PyroJam, Tim Jameson's use of the half-second gerbs to create the cross,
Yeah,
I thought that was absolutely spectacular.
yeah,
Yeah, very, very well done. Kudos to him for doing that. So, just wanted to throw that in there as well. Just it
yeah.
just hit me when you were saying something about
Yeah.
how
So yeah,
he did that.
definitely. If you want to see some really cool scripting designs and ideas, check out those Montreal videos
Yeah.
on YouTube. Just go to YouTube Montreal Fireworks Festival, and you'll see them on there. And they do some really, and these are like 30+ minute displays. These aren't like a 15-minute pyro musical.
Wow.
These are 30+minute shows, and so it's really in depth, and you really get a lot.
Yeah.
When the scripting is good, it really sucks you in.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. It really does.
So, all right. Well,
Perfect.
I think that's going to put a wrap maybe on
Yeah. Put a
episode
wrap on
6.
this episode. Yeah. So
So we
be
have
sure to check out pyrounleashedpodcast.com. You can listen to all of our episodes on there, or obviously on YouTube. Can you watch them on the website? I guess I haven't even tested that. Come to think about it.
I haven't put the YouTube video on the website, just the audio, I think.
Okay.
I might have
Okay.
changed that.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, because I
So,
think the website is still just the audio versions of it. I don't have
okay.
the full video incorporated yet.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. But while you're on the website, be sure to buy some merch. Rep the Pyro Unleashed podcast to your favorite. Well, really, not even to your favorite uh, club or event, but like all the time. That'd be great. And then obviously hit up our Discord. Probably will jump in there tonight. I don't know if anybody's gonna be on it. 9, 10 o'clock at night. But
Right.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get some activity in there and
Yeah, I need to hop back
hang
in there,
out.
talk with everybody again here coming up in
Yeah,
a
it's been
sometime.
gosh, it's been too long. Like it's just genuinely been too long since I've been able
Well,
to hang out.
I mean, everybody thinks once 4th of July is over, fireworks season is done, but
You know, it's
that's
funny.
literally just the beginning of it for a lot
No,
of
like
us.
literally, and again, I mean this in no disrespect, but like fireworks season, everybody's so excited for the 4th of July, and I really am too. But like, it's funny because like I'm actually more excited about midnight because I know like that's when like the workload is starting to be done and the fun is starting.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
that's it's just ironic. I've talked to a couple people about that here in the last like 3 or 4 days, and it's just kind of been like the general consensus. So if you're like delve deep in the in the industry, like you look forward to July 5th, July 6th, July 7th. Like I guess this year would have been July 7th because like
Yeah,
everything's kind of starting to come to a close and you can start to like obviously relax, but then you realize, well, NFA's coming, APA's coming, PGI, Sky. I mean, all these events like
oh yeah, tons of them,
PyroJam.
lots
It's
of them coming still. Yeah,
yeah. So that's just when the fun begins. So
yeah. So yeah, if you're looking for some pyro events, there are still lots of them to come this fall.
still a
So
lot to
we're just
come.
getting started. So
Yep.
definitely there are a lot going to be out there right now. So
Yep.
'cause we just
Yeah.
had mid states this last weekend here in Missouri in the
Yeah.
Midwest.
Yeah.
If you were happen to catch that,
Yep. We were out there, and that was huge success on our side, and met lots of great new people, from my understanding, and lots of great product was purchased
uh,
and shot off out there. Lots of good shows, I guess. Really good product and demos. So I think Fireball Dudes was out there doing some gas mines, so that's
yeah, I
pretty
think they
cool.
were. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah, absolutely. Well, all right, guys,
all
we're gonna put a
right.
wrap on it here, and we will until we see you guys next week. Go out there and unleash your inner pyro.
This has been another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Come back each week for more industry insights, technical tips, and awesome pyro designs. Have fun out there, be safe, and as always, remember to unleash your inner pyro with us.